Great question from Dan. And Jonna, I'll let you answer this one first because I felt that's such a personal preference. Do you recommend taking an exam from home, work, or at a testing center? What device would you recommend? So let's go in order. Jonah, you go first. How do you like to do your certifications?
Yes. I've taken my certifications actually remotely from home, all of them. And it has pros and cons. Pros in a way that it's convenient. I don't have to leave home. But I consider the preparation of having the rules of having clean desk, everything, no destruction rules are a bit of cons because it takes time and preparation. But otherwise, I would prefer to do the remote or from home testing in my perspective. And I don't have Mac, so of course I recommend Windows on a laptop, so I don't have to carry a big desktop somewhere in a clean desk
Yeah.
environment. Yes, yeah, that's for me. How about you, Thiago or Vlad?
Tiago, go first.
Yeah,
Well,
Thiago.
yeah, yeah. So like Jonah said, there's pros and cons of each one of them.
Mm-hmm.
If you can have a space at your house where you can have a clean desk, just your laptop, powered to the outlet. Don't forget that, okay? So that you don't run out of battery during the middle of the exam. And it's a quiet space with no distractions, etc. It's convenient. Let's be honest. If you live near a training center that has an exam, for example, center where you can just take the exams, just go there, you enter, they have everything prepped for you. You don't have to think about prepping anything. Definitely, there's that. I can tell you my experience. I have, I think I saw the other day 60 something exams taken. And most of those exams were probably like half of them already were taken on site because we didn't have any other choice back in the days. And it was always a big process. I had to go to the exam center. In my case, by the way, I live in Lisbon, Portugal, but I actually don't live in Lisbon. Okay, I live in the South Bay, which is like with no traffic, it's like 35 minutes drive to the city center. With traffic, you never know. And then there's the stress of getting there on time in the morning because there's traffic and finding a place to park your car, and all of that you actually don't need that stress before you take an exam. So taking it home, it's way more comfortable. And what I have is I have a device that is not company owned. It's a personal device, so it doesn't have policies and all that stuff that can ruin your exam experience. And I just use that device and I go to my living room because I actually don't take it in the office. You can't see what's in front, but I have four cameras, I have a teleprompt, five screens, lights, and the person that is, we call it the proctor, that is actually invigilating the exam for you. They will probably freak out if they see all this. So I just take my laptop. I have it here, by the way, because this is a desktop where I am, and I just take my laptop. I go to my living room, powered with a mouse and my ID, and I just do it from there. There's only a TV in the living room, and sometimes they ask me to cover that with like a blanket or a sheet or something like that. So there's a prep that you need to be doing. Okay, and I know during the day I'm alone here. There's the family's out, so I usually take the exams at that time, and it has been working very, very well for me. Okay, not everyone has this experience and can have this experience. If you can't, go to a training center, an exam center, take it from there. This is my advice.
I'm a bit with Tiago on this one. So I did a lot of them in the testing center. With the pandemic, of course, I had to do them remote. And even I take it one step further. I go in the dining room when there's no
Yeah.
TV, no nothing on the big dining room. So there's nothing for me to hide. And also, I have a blank Windows 11 laptop, like
Yeah.
nothing actually installed on it. I always have one in my house. There's like only Edge, notepad. I don't even have Office on it. That's the only thing I
Yeah.
use it for. But honestly, if I get the chance, I want to go to a testing center. And why is that? I feel that taking a certification exam is always a stressful experience. No matter how many, if you took 60 like Tiago, or if you haven't taken any, you're always a bit stressed about
Always.
taking that exam. And do you want to add to that stress that the internet will go out, the power will go out, somebody will knock at the door? Do you want to add any stress to that experience? Or honestly, and again, like Tiago said, I'm a bit privileged that I'm 30 minutes away and then I have some friends downtown I'll go get a coffee with after. So I make it kind of a fun experience day of going to the testing center and then grabbing lunch with somebody and everything. So I'm a bit lucky. I'm sure not everyone has a testing center within 30 minutes. And I see what John over there is like, that's me.
Yes. Yeah,
But
that's why I answered remote, because I can really relate to the part that I'm someone that doesn't live close to a testing center. So I live out middle of Sweden, so it's not close to Stockholm. And the remote is the most convenient to
Yeah.
me, and I also have to deal with the cons that I shared. That there was one time, the recent certification that I tried to take, AZ 500, the security engineer exam. I was prepared. In the middle of the exam, my internet ran out because the electricity went out, and it doesn't happen often, but it was like a very bad coincidence to do that. So just like what you said, Shargo Bilad, sometimes if you want to be stress free, sometimes it's worth it to do the test center alternative as well. Yeah.
especially on your first exam, on your first few exams,
Mm.
try to go to a testing center. Again, if you have the possibility, try to go there. The process is so easy. You go at the reception, they give you a free coffee, they explain everything to you. If you have any questions, you
Mhm.
can just, you raise your hand and somebody, I mean, not about the exam, but if ever like, the interface doesn't work, something is stuck, they can help you out. They have people there for those kind of technical questions. Where if you're at home, and I see that Jose actually shared an interesting thing in the chat here, that he already missed an exam because of the dogs barking. And
Yeah.
the proctors, some of them, they're humans, right? So, like, they say that as soon as somebody walks behind you or they see somebody in the camera, it's automatic disqualification. If I did not know about if they hear sounds that they're not sure about, it's an automatic disqualification. So they're not all the same, right? And I see Jonah looking like, is it like that? They're human, right? They all interpret the rules differently. And I've heard stories where people get disqualified, even if maybe they shouldn't have. And that's why for your first exams, try and go to a testing center if possible. I still always try to go to a testing center because, again, I make kind of a day out of it, go hang out with friends, and it takes out a bunch of stress out of my exam because I can actually focus on the exam rather than the stuff around me. But it's really I don't want to say it's a personal preference. It's also how close you live to a testing center preference and how available it is to you. But those are our preferences.